Hello and welcome to Silverstone on the National Circuit for the penultimate meeting of the year for the 2017 Britcover National Formula Ford 1600 Championship with Avon Tyres. It's been an incredible season so far and it's now starting to reach its climax. This man, Luke Williams, who's on pole for race 1, has got two things to worry about. One, maintaining his championship lead in the national overall standings, but also to try and settle the Triple Crown Championship, which encompasses Donington Park, Brands Hatch and right here at Silverstone. So, can he win the Triple Crown title and also defend his national lead? Let's find out. Time for me to head to the commentary box and give you the grid for race 1.
And here is that grid as the cars begin to line up, and it's Luke Williams and Luke Cooper on the front row of the grid, ahead of Jamie Thorburn and Roger Orgy, with Jordan Dempsey and James Rowe Jr. on row 3, ahead of Josh Smith and Neil McLennan on row 4. Row 5 is Matt Round-Garrido and Michael Eastwell, ahead of Stuart Goff and Henry Chart, Felix Fisher and Thomas Capazone, ahead of John Ferguson and Rory Smith on row 8. Row 9 is Vincent Jay and Nigel Dolan, then James Scott Murphy and Jack Kemp, ahead of John Svensson and James Harvey, and then Jack Clayton and Paul Mason on row 12. Row 13 is David Cobbold and Mark de Rosario, ahead of Graham Woodin and Paul Barnes. Sam Street and Laurent Ponsan take up row 15, ahead of Jack Wolfenden and Matt Payne. And Ivan Mayers, last but not least, 33rd and last on the grid. So, 15 minutes of action on the Silverstone National Circuit. The lights go out now, and the first few rows get away pretty cleanly as they begin the charge towards Copse Corner. Here's Jordan Dempsey to the outside of Orgy and also to McLennan as they turn through the right-hander with Cooper leading. Williams in second place, Thorburn in the mix as they were 3 wide for 4th place behind him. Now as they go through towards Maggots and Beckett's, this is Josh Smith battling with Roger Orgy down towards the complex. Now Neil McLennan getting into the mix as they pile up towards Beckett's for the first time. Cooper leads, the rest of the field trying to negotiate its way through. A mammoth 33 car entry for the Silverstone National Circuit this weekend. There's some of the Clubman Post 89 and Pre-90 runners making their way onto the Wellington Straight. And here is Jordan Dempsey on the straight, charging in the slipstream behind Jamie Thorburn, who himself is trying to make a move. Here comes Dempsey looking to the inside at Brooklands, but the door is shut firmly in Dempsey's face as they now head to the right-hander of Luffield. Possibly a second opportunity. The door opens again, but no, slam back in Dempsey's face, and the leaders exit through Woodcote for the first time. So Luke Cooper leads the way as they make their way towards the end of the first lap. This is Michael Eastwell going up the inside of James Rowe Jr. into Beckett. Oops, and contact. And I think you'll find, Michael, that's not how you overtake. You go around the Formula Ford, not over it. Oh, and he clouts the helmet of James Rowe Jr. too. Pretty sure the Irishman won't appreciate that one. Now then, back with Josh Smith. He's fallen away a little bit from the leaders as he heads under the bridge. And there is Matt Round-Garrido storming up the outside down towards Brooklands. I think Josh was almost helpless to defend that as they turn their way through. Oh, he's lost another place because Jamie Thorburn goes past as well. So 2 positions lost in the space of a couple of corners for the zero. And he's gone from hero to zero in the space of a few moments. So Josh Smith has got some positions and a little bit of pride to try and recover now as they head through Woodcote Corner into another lap as the leaders make their way to a back marker, and Williams gets bulked through the middle of Copse. It gives Cooper the opportunity to go up the inside, and it'll put him on the inside for Maggots and Beckett. The 2 cars going wheel to wheel. They're in the battle for the Triple Crown Championship, but there's double waved yellows, and I think that Cooper managed to get his way through into the lead just before they got to the yellow flag zone. Well, there's the drivers of Eastwell and Rowe Jr. They seem to be perfectly okay. Can't really say the same about their cars, as you can see in the foreground. Leaders back into Brooklands and then Luffield once again. And Williams is not giving up the fight here. He's trying again to the outside, but Cooper has that inside line covered. And as they head out of the right-hander up towards Woodcote to start another lap, you can tell these two are getting very racy. They're the top 2 in the Triple Crown standings, and they're battling tooth and nail to win the title here this weekend. On board with Josh Smith as they're back side by side again for a second time, but it's roles reversed. Williams looks towards the apex, finds Cooper to his right, but he's got the outside line a la Cooper last time out. He's going to try and get a move up the inside if he can. Goes to the left-hand side for Maggots, up towards the braking zone. The yellow flags are still waving. They're still recovering, both Michael Eastwell and James Rowe Jr. So as they head out of Beckett's onto the Wellington Straight, he's trying to pull alongside. Could be an opportunity to make it through, as Josh Smith now has managed to catch the back of Jamie Thorburn as they head down towards Brooklands once more in the slipstream. They cut quite a big hole in the air, these Formula Fords, as you slide down towards the complex at the bottom of the straight. At the left-hander, looking for a move, as also Thorburn's trying to make a move on Matt Round Garrido respectively. They all turned in as one, and a change for a lead. I thought it might happen. Down the Wellington straight into Brooklands. Luke Williams is back to the front of race 1, but Luke Cooper in the number 6 is not letting him have it that easy. They're in the slipstream once again. Last lap of the race as they head down towards Copse. He's getting the encouragement on the pit wall as they turn their way into the right-hander for the final time. Williams gets the line. Cooper will go around the outside as they head now towards Maggots and Beckett's for one final time, and Cooper is looking this way and that, but he still cannot find any room at the inn. Down towards Maggots and Beckett's. The yellow flags have been withdrawn, but there's no passing opportunity, and Luke Cooper is running out of time and running out of chances. There's a couple of back markers in the way. They could play a factor. One of the Club and Pre-90 cars pulls off to the right. This is now Josh Smith. He's now trying to battle with Matt Round Garrido, who has lost out to Jamie Thorburn, and Smith has lost quite a bit of momentum off the exit of Beckett. So it looks as though his chances to try and close in have pretty much dried up as the two cars in front go into combat on the last lap of the race. But meanwhile, the leaders are negotiating one of the Clubman Post 89 machines, and Luke Williams, as he heads out of left field up through Woodcote Corner for the last time, takes one step closer to both the Triple Crown and the national titles. As he heads to the checkered flag, Williams punches the air as he wins race 1 at Silverstone. Cooper takes second place, and the fight for third is a three-way scrap across the line. That was between Orgy, Dempsey and McLennan, and the winner of that was Orgy. So Williams wins, Cooper second place, Orgy gets the final podium spot, then McLennan, Dempsey, Thorburn, Matt Round Garrido, Josh Smith, Felix Fisher and John Ferguson. Then it's Scott Murphy in 11th ahead of Capazone, Smith, Svensson, Dolan, Kemp, Chart, Wolfenden, Jay and Goff rounding out the top 20. Stewart won't be happy with that one. And then Mason, Cobbold, Clayton, Street, Barnes, De Rosario, Ponsan, Payne and Mez, with Woodin, one of the 4 retirements, along of course with Michael Eastwell and James Rowe Jr. Excellent way to start the weekend at Silverstone, and here's the top 3 on the podium.
Well, a brilliant first race here at Silverstone for the National Formula Fords, and the winner, quite crucially, is Luke Williams. Luke, as we said, very crucial not just for the National Championship but for the Triple Crown as well.
Yeah, I forgot about the Triple Crown coming in this weekend. It was Ian Smith that mentioned it back to me. I was fully concentrating on the National Championship. And obviously Luke's right behind me in a Triple Crown, so I've been told. So, yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed it thoroughly, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a great race. As Luke said, we worked together to break away from everyone. Then the last couple of laps with the back markers, it got a bit intense. And it was a bit of a guess as to who was going to come out on top, and it was how the back markers played out. But it was a brilliant drive by Luke.
Yeah, really happy to be on the podium. And what you were saying earlier with the sort of starting on those two starting on the front row, I'm just behind them. So hopefully this next race I can get a good start and keep up with them.
Saturday afternoon turns to Sunday morning for race 2 of the National Formula Fords here at the Silverstone National Circuit, with Luke Williams and Luke Cooper back on the front row of the grid once again. Should be a fascinating spectacle, especially also with wildcard Roger Orgy back in third. So, time for me to jump back up to the commentary box and give you the full grid for race 2.
As the last few cars make it towards the grid, here is the lineup with Luke Williams and Luke Cooper on the front row of the grid. Then Roger Orgy and Neil McLennan on row 2, ahead of Jordan Dempsey, Jamie Thorburn, Matt Round Garrido and Josh Smith. Top 10 completed by Felix Fisher and John Ferguson, then James Scott Murphy and Thomas Capazone, ahead of Rory Smith and John Svensson, then Nigel Dolan and Jack Kemp on row 8. Row 9 is Henry Chart and Jack Wolfenden, ahead of Vincent Jay and Stuart Goff back down in 20th. Then Paul Mason, David Cobbold, Jack Clayton and Sam Street complete the top 24 runners. Then Paul Barnes, Mark De Rosario, Laurent Ponsan, Matt Payne, Ivor Mares, Graham Woodin, James Rowe Jr. and Michael Eastwell complete the 32 cars, with James Harvey at the back of the grid in 33rd. So race 2 here at Silverstone, another 15 minutes. Watch for the red lights to go out as the revs rise. They're on for an awfully long time this time around, but they go out now. And the first few rows seem to get away pretty cleanly as they head back down towards Copse once again. We're back on board with Josh Smith. He's got Matt Round Garrido right in front of him, someone else to his left, and I think that possibly could be James Scott Murphy as they turn into Copse Corner. Sun beating down here at Silverstone on the national circuit. They turn their way out of Copse down towards Maggots and Beckett's again for the first time, and Cooper once again for the second race in a row leads them into the complex. It's Williams in second place. McLennan looks as though he's managed to get himself into third place. There is number 8 having a scrap with one of the cars down the order as they head up towards Brooklands for the first time. David Cobbold on board with him. Now he's in contention for the Clubman Pre-90 category of the Triple Crown as it's action stations down towards Brooklands. Williams goes around the outside and takes the lead. McLennan will try and follow him for second place, but Cooper's got the line covered. It's Roger Orgy in 4th, then Jamie Thorburn 5th, Rest of the field comes streaming through in the top 10, but Williams trying to make a break already as he heads towards the end of the first lap. Dempsey's in there in P6. Matt Rangarido looks to be holding 7th place. There's Jamie Thorburn in the Cliff Dempsey Racing Ray, the blue and white car, as Josh Smith watches on in front of him. Crosses the line. There's some battling going on up in front for 3rd and 4th position. Back into Copse Corner once again. And he's chasing after Matt Rangarido as they head over the curbs. Keeping tucked in the slipstream. He may try and look for an opportunity. Not quite close enough to pass here. They file into Maggots and Beckett's again. There's McLennan clouting the curb on the inside. He's up to 3rd place, holding off a very feisty Roger Orgy. He's a Castle Coombe regular as Roger, but he's settling into the very similar high-speed nature of Silverstone very well. Top 2 trying to break away, but it looks to be all over the place for 3rd place. We'll breathe in, here they come. He's almost 3 abreast as Orgy tries to go around the outside of Thorburn. He holds on, tried the same move on McLennan, but the Scotsman shut the door. Here's on board with Jordan Dempsey. Watching the battles in front, we've got Josh Smith and Roger Orgy going side by side, and Matt Rangarido looks as though he's tried to make his way around the outside of the Irishman and got through. So there is Matt Rangarido. And on that screen, he's in front of Dempsey as they head down towards Copse again. And now there's great big battles going up in front, because it looks to me as if that's once again Roger Orgy having a scrap for 3rd position. Out of the right-hander, back down towards the complex. Lots of action here at Silverstone, and there's plenty more where that came from. As we go for a break, we'll catch you back in 2. Welcome back to Silverstone for more National Formula Ford action as you join the battle that's going on for 5th position. Roger Orgy currently heads it with Jamie Thorburn, Matt Rangarido and this man Josh Smith all in the mix. Exiting Luffield, now through the flat-out kink of Woodcote, turning their way onto the pit straight to begin yet another lap. Past the pits as the sun shines down here on a very bright Silverstone National circuit into Copse Corner. Twitch of oversteer as Smith has a small lift. Leaders back into the complex. Williams ahead of Cooper. Then the fight for 3rd. It's Dempsey versus McLennan. They're side by side up towards the right-hander. Lock up from both drivers. But Dempsey holds the position. There's 50, Jamie Thorburn, which is Neil McLennan's teammate. He's got a bit of a catch-22 situation. He's now trying to pass Roger Orgy, but defend from Matt Rangarido. As back into the complex, lock up from Cooper as he goes up the inside of Luke Williams to the lead of the race. And he's got it done. A bold pass up the inside from Luke Cooper on Luke Williams, and it's now roles reverse once again. Remember, they were like this in race 1, but it was Williams ahead of Cooper. Onto the pit straight to start the final lap of the race. Back with Josh Smith. He continues to watch this battle for 5th place in front of him, but he's fading away ever so slightly, and they're battling once again up front. I think that's possibly Dempsey and McLennan battling with Roger Orgy once more. They did that in race 1, and they're at it again on the last lap. Back into Maggots and Beckett, and Cooper back up the inside. That could be a crucial pass for the lead of the race. So Williams tried to go back around the outside into Maggots, couldn't get the apex done because Cooper was to his right. And as they head off down the Wellington Straight, Williams pulls out again to have a look at a move into Brooklands. Side by side on the final lap of the race, they're almost touching wheels. Ooh, breathe in, here they come. Cooper holds the inside line. Williams goes for the cut back on the exit of Brooklands. No avenue there. Cooper holds now the inside line again for Luffield. And I think, try as he might, Luke Williams will not make it a double. Out of Luffield, up through Woodcote for the final time. Luke Cooper will make it 1 apiece at Silverstone. Out of Woodcote, onto the pit straight. He takes the checkered flag and wins race 2. Williams takes 2nd place, and it's another photo finish for 3rd. Orgy on the left, McLennan on the right. Here comes Jordan Dempsey. They charge towards the checkered flag. It's a close one towards the line. And who got it in the end? We look at the results. It was Cooper from Williams, and it was Dempsey that got it on the line just from Roger Orgy and then Neil McLennan. Jamie Thorburn gets 6th ahead of Matt Rangarido, Josh Smith, Stuart Goff and Michael Eastwell. Then James Scott Murphy and John Ferguson. Felix Fisher and Henry Chart, then John Svensson and Vincent J, Nigel Dolan and Paul Mason and James Harvey rounding out the top 20, then Capazone, Clayton, De Rosario, Street, Barnes, Payne, Mez and Wolferden with a few more high-profile retirements. So let's have a chat to our winner for race 2, Luke Cooper.
Well, Luke, massive smile on your face, as I can imagine. The last couple of laps are where it was won, and another strong victory for you.
Yeah, I was absolutely ecstatic with that. It was a great race. As soon as we saw we had half a gap to third, again, same as yesterday, we just worked putting the laps in, pulling the gap, and then battle it out on the last few laps. And I managed to get in the lead at the right time and be able to hold it for the last lap.
Well, look, another strong result. It could have been a double win, but just missed out on the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I'm not too upset with that. Same as happened yesterday, really. We pulled the gap. I think Luke let me through because I think I've probably got the speed in the car and Luke's able to tow with me. So it worked quite nicely, to be fair. I think we pulled a fairly decent gap quite quickly, actually. And then we just sat putting the laps, putting the times. And then Luke managed to get an overlap on the back straight. And as we broke into Brooklands, there was a back marker on the outside and Luke on the inside. And I thought better of trying to fight it.
For one final time, the National Formula Fords are ready to go here at Silverstone with the reverse grid. And it's Josh Smith on pole, Matt Rangarida alongside him as well. But back on row 4, it's all about the Triple Crown title because either Luke Williams or Luke Cooper will take it here. With a win each, it could go either way. So, for the final time for me to jump to the commentary box and give you the full grid for the final race of the weekend at Silverstone.
And as they begin to line up, here is that full grid order then. Josh Smith and Matt Rangarida on the front row, ahead of Jamie Thorburn and Neil McLennan. Then Roger Orgy and Jordan Dempsey, and crucially, watch for Luke Williams and Luke Cooper starting back on row 4. Then Stuart Goff and Michael Eastwell make up the top 10. Then James Scott Murphy and John Ferguson. Felix Fisher and Henry Chart start ahead of Rory Smith and John Svensson on row 8. Vincent Jay and Nigel Dolan make up row 9. Then Paul Mason and James Harvey. Thomas Capazone and Jack Clayton start ahead of Mark de Rosario and Sam Street, who reside on row 12. Row 13 is Paul Barnes and Matt Payne, ahead of Ivor Mayers, Jack Morforden, then James Rowe Jr., Jack Kemp, David Cobbold and Lawrence Ponsam. So for the final time this weekend at Silverstone, lights out and we are racing on the national circuit. Great start from Josh Smith and from Jamie Thorburn. He's up to second place already from row 2 and he'll get the run into Copse Corner ahead of his teammate Neil McLennan. We ride on board with the Scotsman. He took a huge bite of curb on the inside of Copse Corner, but he's now chasing after his teammate as they head down towards Maggots and Beckett. Matt Rangarida, who started on the front row of the grid, is going with them, and then the rest of the pack is headed by Jordan Dempsey in the 49. So out of Beckett, onto the Wellington Straight for the first time. Line astern, the top 4 tucked together in the slipstream. Here's Neil McLennan's view, watching his teammate Jamie Thorburn as he looks for a move to the outside for the lead of the race. Smith will have to get defensive down towards Brooklands, but there goes Jamie Thorburn moving across, under brakes for the left-hander, and he's got it done. Incredible move around the outside from Jamie Thorburn, and there literally was nothing this man Josh Smith could do. A brilliant piece of driving from the Kirkistown race winner. That's his only race win overall in his Formula Ford career, and he's looking to try and take a second one now. There's James Scott Murphy in the black car battling with John Ferguson. Henry Chart in the mix as well in the 55 as they head across the line to end the first lap. Up the inside now for Neil McLennan, a lock up from the 25. But Josh Smith refines his momentum, holds the outside line, and now McLennan's got to look at his mirrors because here comes Matt Rangarida in 4th position. Looking down towards Maggots and Beckett, and Jordan Dempsey are looking up the inside of Rangarida. I don't think Matt expected that one. Jordan tries to make the move up the inside on the exit. Rangarida runs wide and Dempsey makes his point. Up the inside, and now look at his mirror look, because that is also Luke Williams trying to get past Matt Rangarida. Down towards Brooklands once again. There's McLennan looking for second place, and here comes Smith up towards the inside. Thorburn moves across and Smith goes around. 360 across the grass, completely out of control, but somehow Josh Smith regains the line and the right direction and doesn't hit anyone. That was unbelievable. I was sure that was a collision course for disaster, but somehow Josh Smith's quick thinking got his car back facing the right way and still going wheel to wheel with Roger Orgy. That was absolutely extraordinary. Well, now we can see Luke Cooper's battling with Stuart Goff, a former national champion himself, making a one-off appearance back in the championship. Good to see him back in his old Van D Winner of 92. As the leaders are contesting 1st to 4th. See Luke Williams there moving to the outside of Jordan Dempsey. There's yellow flags being waved down towards Maggots and Beckett, so no overtaking here as per the rules. This now allows Matt Rangarida to close up, as it also does, I think that's Michael Eastwell in 6th position. So Eastwell started on the 5th row of the grid and has had a cracking opening couple of laps to move up 4 spots. Back on board with Jordan Dempsey, watching Neil McLennan, who himself is trying to get past Jamie Thorburn. They all pile into Brooklands together. Dempsey looks for the outside line of Neil McLennan, but the Scotsman's got it covered and he's almost acting like a rear gunner for his teammate Jamie Thorburn. But there goes McLennan a little bit wide on the inside of Luffield, but he shuts the door pretty nicely on Jordan Dempsey. No move quite there. Now we fast forwarded later on into the race, and incredibly it's all changed at the front, because crucially Luke Williams leads the race, but the car behind him to watch is Michael Eastwell. He's had a bit of an up and down season this year, but he's in second place as we ride aboard with Jordan Dempsey battling over fourth. But Michael Eastwell, the white and blue car I should say, number 92, is in contention not only for his first podium of his national career, but even the victory if he can get one over on Luke Williams. Into Magnussen Beckett's again. There is Michael. And the last time we saw him, his car was, well, here at Beckett's, on top of James Rowe Jr.'s, but he's managed to recover from that and having a stellar race 3 to end the weekend appropriately. And watching here, Roger Orgy in third place. Here comes Jordan Dempsey to the outside of Neil McLennan as we head into Brooklands, what I believe is the final time. Eastwell will try and close to a left-hander, but I'm not sure he's going to make it through unless Luke Williams makes a mistake. By the looks of things, I don't think he'll do that, and as he exits Luffield towards the pit straight, he's thinking about the national title. That'll have to wait till Anglesey, but for now he can celebrate. It'll be his second race win of the weekend as Luke Williams wins race 3 and clinches the Formula 4 Triple Crown title in fine style. Michael Eastwell takes a superb second place ahead of Roger Orgy in third, then Jordan Dempsey, Neil McLennan, Matt Round-Garrido, Josh Smith, Stuart Goff a superb 8th, Jamie Thorburn down to 9th, and James Rowe Jr. finishes in 10th place. Then it's John Ferguson, Jack Wolfenden, Rory Smiths, James Scott Murphy and Thomas Capazone, then Jay, Svensson, Mason, Harvey and Kemp, and then Dolan, Clayton, Cobbold, De Rosario, Barnes, Ponsan, Payne and Mares, the 28 finishers. Luke Cooper sadly not finishing the race as he's out with 3 other cars. An amazing weekend at Silverstone, and with one more to go, let's talk to our very happy national title contender and Triple Crown champion, Luke Williams, on the podium.
Well, Luke, first of all, we can say now, Triple Crown champion in Formula Fords. Congratulations.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Another championship. We came this weekend just trying to get points for the national, and then taking another championship sounds good to me as well. So, yeah, over the moon with the weekend. Very good.
Mark, you had a fantastic weekend, but to cap it all with a second place. Where did that come from?
I think it's been a long time coming. I say that, I've only been racing 4 months, but no, we had the pace this weekend, really good quality. Unfortunately, an incident from last month meant we were back to 10th for the first race. Unfortunately, another incident, race 1, put us right on the back for race 2. Fought my way back to 10th to where I started. And then we knew with the reverse grid, things being a bit out of shape, it would give us a chance for a possible podium.
Roger, 2 third places for your weekend at Silverstone. I think that's a job well done, I think.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm very happy with the debut onto the National Formula Ford Championship. It's been a fantastic weekend.
So, Luke Williams may have got a hat-trick of victories and secured the Triple Crown Championship whilst he was at it, but of course the National Championship rumbles on. It all plays down to the final race weekend of the season, and it happens on the Welsh coast. Anglesey plays the setting for the final 3 rounds of the championship, and the question remains, who's going to take the title and that coveted spot on the Mazda Road to Indy Shootout? It's going to be a tight one, but join us next time for more action from the National Formula Fords. Bye for now.